Previously, we've discussed the idea of trust and leveraging your brand and your branches to help foster trust. But in today's post-COVID reality, you are going to have to optimize your branch network. Reducing cost in your delivery physically is critical to weather this storm. For most financial institutions, 80% of the transactions are being conducted by about 20% of customers. And post-COVID, as many have acclimated to digital channels, many will not go back to the physical channel. So more than ever, you need to take cost out. There are 3 ways to do that. The first is the easiest, maybe also the hardest, closures. They require no investment and instant savings. The second is reducing staffing. This one's more complicated. It requires renovations. And the third is downsizing your formats to smaller footprint-sized branches. Also more complicated, as it usually requires relocations. But when you spend on renovations and you spend on relocations, you have the opportunity to save. As you consider closures, look to market analytics to help you. You may intuitively think you know which branches need to be closed, but understanding distance to nearest surviving branch and overall potential of branch locations will help you figure out the risk level. Also consider remediation strategies, leaving behind remote ATM or ITMs, micro branches, even mobile branches. As you think about reducing staffing, there's 2 ways to do it. The first is universal banking. In universal banking, you use cash automation to reduce FTE. 2 teller cash recyclers can reduce, on average, 1.5 full-time employees. As a second step, you can move to hub and spoke cluster management, where you promote a super manager in a hub and gain efficiencies by reducing branch manager staff in your spokes. And then finally, as a third step, you can downsize to smaller square footage. This is hard to do in existing locations, so often requires looking to new potential locations that are smaller. The payback of renovating and relocating to reduce square footage is in staff optimization. So consider a branch network of 50 branches. Average branch non-interest expense, $450,000. You decide to close 20%. You take both staff reduction steps, reducing by 1.5 full-time employees per branch, and further reducing by 3 managers for every hub and spoke cluster. The renovations require a capital expenditure of $500,000 for a hub, but only $125,000 for spokes. The initial CapEx is $8.8 million, but the annual NIE savings is $4.7 million. That's instantly accretive. And because of the cash flow, you'll get a full CapEx payback in 2.5 years. This becomes a no-brainer to move to a more optimized operating model. Numbers on paper are very different from real communities and real people that will be affected, but it's for the long-term health of the institution that you have to make these very difficult decisions so you can survive and thrive in the future.